Greetings, people of intellect. This is my book review of The Power of Concentration by Theron Q. Dumont. This was written in 1918, but still has very practical implications. It's written in a way that's not really a narrative, but individual pieces of really good advice. So it strings along, and it kind of tests your concentration, because whereas it doesn't really give like detailed, prolonged examples of that you could follow along in terms of in narration. It's more of advice, and so it requires concentration to actually follow along and not get distracted. Which I had to go through it like 3 times to really absorb more, and I'm sure I'll absorb more going into it the 4th and 5th time. But I gained some value out of it that should be obvious, but it's very nice to reiterate those things and form a better concrete reinforcement on those ideas. And I like the way that they talk about, or he talks about certain things, like the first way, which is obvious, like the power of concentration is really great, but I like the illustration he made that dwarves can often do the work of giants with the power of mental concentration, but giants can only do the work of dwarfs without it. So it really puts the perspective of concentration into place. He talks about how concentration outweighs, the ability to concentration outweighs skills. Someone who has a greater ability to focus will outperform someone who has the skills but not really the ability to focus, which takes me to the second concept that I gained, and that is he uses the analogy of a magnifying glass. Just as the rays of the sun are scattered everywhere, when you use a magnifying glass to focus the rays in a specific direction, you're able to concentrate it and form fire. In the similar manner, you can do the same thing with effectiveness of a particular task. Just as your thoughts are like scattered, such as rays, you can focus them through the lens of concentration and do something really great. And so the main point of that, in that whole concept, in one word, is, well, in 3 words, is do not multitask. The word multitask was actually derived for computers, because at first they couldn't do multiple things at once, but then with advancements they were able to do multiple things at once. Humans aren't wired for that. Like, understand that computers, you can rewire for them to actually do such a thing. We were not wired for that. So when you think you're being productive by doing multiple things at once, you're actually slowing yourself down. He actually recommends doing one thing and solely focusing on that one thing before proceeding, which I find really helpful, and I'm starting to implement that, realizing that I would be much better off focusing on whatever is at hand, finishing it all the way through, and then going to the next one. Like, just pick something, conquer it, move on to the next one. The third thing that I gained was how some tactics to practice concentration. The first of which is listening attentively to people, which I already do well, but now I'm more conscious of that I'm practicing concentration when I'm listening to people. The second thing is whatever you're doing at the moment, imagine that it is your life's purpose, and put all of your focus and concentration on that. The third concept, which I really like, is when you're told to do something, or you remember that you have to do something, a way of not forgetting is to tell yourself verbally and imagine yourself doing it in the future. If you have to do something before the end of the day and you remember it now, think about it and you won't forget it.